Have you ever spent a sunny afternoon watching a child try to catch their own shadow? No matter how fast they sprint, no matter how hard they reach, that dark silhouette stays exactly the same distance away. The harder they chase, the more exhausted they become, yet the goal remains just out of grasp. I see so many people living their lives exactly like that child. They are sprinting toward wealth, chasing after success, and running until their spirits are weary. But in the wisdom of the Torah, we are taught a profound secret. Money is not the goal. Money is the shadow. When you walk toward the light of value, service, and divine purpose, the shadow follows you naturally. You don't have to chase it. It simply appears because of where you are standing in relation to the Creator. Today, I want to invite you to stop running. I want to show you how to turn around and face the light. We are going to explore 4 specific business models rooted in the Torah and the Talmud models that have allowed my people to remain resilient and prosperous through thousands of years, even in the most difficult times of exile. These are not just money-making schemes. They are ways to create what we call barakah, a Hebrew word for blessing, that implies an increase that comes from a divine source. My name is Rabbi Ariel. My life's work is to serve as a bridge, taking the timeless, ancient principles of our faith and translating them into the language of modern finance. I believe with all my heart that your bank account is meant to be a reflection of the healing you bring to the world. If you've been feeling like the world of business is a cold, heartless desert, I want to tell you that there is an oasis waiting for you. But before we dive into these 4 models, I want to ask you something heart to heart. What is the one financial shadow you've been chasing that has left you feeling the most exhausted lately? Is it debt? The fear of not having enough? Or perhaps a career that feels empty? Drop a comment below and share that one thing with me. I promise to read them, and perhaps we can find the light together in our community. You see, the reason most people struggle is not that they aren't working hard enough. It's that they are operating under a massive, heavy lie, a lie that tells them they must be ruthless to survive. When we carry that weight, we cannot see the opportunities God is placing right in front of us. To find the path to true wealth, we first have to break the chains of that illusion. That feeling of exhaustion, that sense that you are running a race with no finish line, it often comes from a weight we don't even realize we're carrying. It's the weight of a great lie that has been whispered into our ears for generations. We've been told that the marketplace is a battlefield, a cold and ruthless dog-eat-dog world, where for you to win, someone else must lose. We've been led to believe that business is a game of the big fish eating the small fish, and that unless you have a mountain of capital or a heart of stone, you simply won't survive. But I want you to take a deep breath and let that weight drop. In the wisdom of our fathers, we see a completely different landscape. Consider a man I know. Let's call him David. David spent 20 years building a logistics company with his teeth clenched, constantly looking over his shoulder at his competitors, terrified that they would steal his slice of the pie. He was successful by the world's standards, but his soul was parched. He felt like he was taking from the world rather than adding to it. One day, we sat down to study the concept of tikkun olam, the Jewish principle that the world was created in a state of brokenness, and it is our divine job to repair it. I told him, David, you are not a soldier in a war. You are a partner in creation. Your business isn't a vacuum to suck money out of people's pockets. It is a tool to mend a specific crack in the universe. When David shifted his perspective, everything changed. He realized that if a customer has a problem and he provides a solution, he isn't taking their money. He is facilitating a holy exchange. He is solving a pain point so that the Creator has a reason to move resources through his hands and into the lives of his employees and his family. This is the fundamental truth. Business is the highest form of charity when done correctly, because it provides dignity, solves problems, and creates a flow of energy. God is the ultimate source of all wealth, and He is looking for vessels, people whose hands are open and whose hearts are focused on service. If you view your work as a way to heal a small part of someone's day, you stop being a competitor and start being a contributor. And the universe always rewards a contributor. I'm curious, have you ever felt that tension between your faith and your desire to be successful? Have you ever felt like you had to choose between being a good person and being profitable? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about how we can bridge that gap together. When we stop trying to grab and start trying to heal, the fear of a saturated market or a lack of capital begins to dissolve. Light is never saturated in a dark room. It simply shines. If you are serving with a heart of tikkun olam, you are unique, and your slice of the pie is guaranteed by the one who baked the pie in the first place. This spiritual shift is what prepares your vessel to hold the blessings of the 4 specific models we are about to explore. When the weight of that big lie finally drops from your shoulders, your soul begins to breathe. You stop looking at the market as a place of scarcity and start seeing it as a garden waiting for a caretaker. In our tradition, we believe that for God to send the rain of provision, you must first build the vessels to catch it. Without a vessel, even the greatest blessing simply runs off into the dirt. I want to share with you 4 specific vessels, 4 business models rooted in the Torah that have sustained my people through every trial and every triumph. The first model is what I call the business of essential stewardship. Think of Joseph in Egypt. He wasn't just a dreamer, he was a master of logistics. When the famine came, Joseph didn't invent something new or flashy. He managed the most basic need of all, bread. People will always need food, clothing, shelter, and security. There is a deep, quiet holiness in providing the things that sustain life. I think of a woman in our community, Sarah, who started a small business focused on high-quality, modest clothing for busy mothers. She didn't seek to disrupt an industry. She sought to serve a basic need with dignity. Because her business is rooted in essential stewardship, it doesn't fluctuate with every market whim. When you provide what is truly necessary, you become a partner with the Creator in sustaining His world. But as we move from the physical needs of the body, we must look at the unique treasure of the mind. My people are often called the people of the book. Throughout history, our lands were taken. Our homes were destroyed, but our knowledge remained. The second model is knowledge transfer. In the Torah, the highest form of giving is to teach a man a trade or a truth that makes him independent. Today, this is the world of education, coaching, and consulting. If you have walked through a fire and learned how to come out the other side, that experience is a pearl you can share. You aren't just selling information. You are selling a shortcut through the wilderness for someone else. I want to pause here for a moment of these first 2 models, providing essential needs or sharing your hard-earned wisdom. Which one feels more like home to your spirit? Tell me in the comments below. I'd love to see where your heart is leaning. This exchange of wisdom leads naturally to our third model, the business of connection and peace. In Hebrew, the word shalom means more than just a lack of war. It means wholeness. A person who connects a buyer to a seller, or a problem to a solution, is creating wholeness. This is the realm of brokerage, trade, and digital platforms. You are the Bridge. When you facilitate a transaction where both sides leave the table better than they started, you have created shalom in the marketplace. There is a special blessing reserved for those who bring people together for mutual benefit. Finally, we look at the deepest wound of our modern age: loneliness and exhaustion. The fourth model is repairing the soul. The world is filled with people who are physically fed but spiritually starving. Businesses focused on health, wellness, counseling, or building supportive communities are doing the work of tikkun olam, repairing the world. When you create a space where a person feels seen, heard, and healed, you are building a vessel that the heavens love to fill. These four models are invincible because they are built on the eternal needs of the human soul. But I must be honest with you, even with the perfect model, many still struggle. They have the right vessel, but it seems to have a hole in the bottom. This brings us to a secret from the life of Isaac, a secret about how to find hidden water in an old land. You see, the reason many people struggle, even when they have a good idea, is that they are constantly searching for the new thing. We live in a world obsessed with the latest trends, the newest technology, and the fastest way to make $1. But there is a story in the Torah, in the book of Genesis, that carries the secret to a prosperity that doesn't dry up when the economy changes. It's the story of Isaac in the land of Gerar. During a time of severe famine, Isaac didn't run away to Egypt like most people would. He stayed in the land, and the Bible tells us something very specific. He went back and redug the wells that his father Abraham had dug years before. Now, you might wonder, Rabbi, why would he dig old wells instead of finding new ones? The answer is profound. After Abraham died, the Philistines, out of envy and hatred, had filled those wells with dirt. They didn't just take the water, they tried to bury the source of life itself. Isaac understood a deep spiritual principle that every entrepreneur must learn. The most reliable water is often found in the places that have already been proven to give life. He didn't need to be a disruptor. He needed to be a restorer. He cleared away the dirt, the distractions, the envy, and the clutter until the fresh, living water began to flow again. And, because he honored what had worked before, the Torah says Isaac sowed in that land and reaped 100-fold in the same year because the Lord blessed him. This is what I mean by invincible business. The four models we discussed, essentials, knowledge, connection, and healing, are the wells of Abraham. They are the timeless needs of humanity that have been flowing since the beginning of time. Many people today try to dig new wells in dry sand, chasing things that have no foundation. But when you re-dig a well of service or a well of wisdom, you are tapping into a source that has already been blessed by the generations before you. I want you to think about your own life for a moment. Often, the dirt that blocks our success is our own lack of focus or our desire to be flashy. We think we need a complex marketing strategy, when what we really need is to clear the dirt off our integrity and our commitment to service. Isaac didn't just dig. He gave the wells the same names his father had given them. He had the humility to follow a proven path. Before we move on, I want to ask you, is there a well in your family or your past, a skill, a value, or a dream that has been filled with the dirt of doubt or life's busyness? What is one thing you need to re-dig this year? Share it in the comments. Let's encourage each other to find that hidden water. When you stop trying to be new and start trying to be faithful to these eternal principles, you become foolproof. You aren't gambling on a trend. You are building on a rock. But I know what you might be thinking. Rabbi Ariel, this sounds beautiful, but I don't have the resources Isaac had. I'm starting with nothing. It is a common fear, and it is the first hurdle we must jump over together. I hear the quiet whisper in your heart as we speak about Isaac's wealth. It's a feeling of, "That's a beautiful story, Rabbi." But Isaac was the son of Abraham. He had a head start. I'm standing here with empty pockets and a mountain of bills. How can I dig a well when I can't even afford the shovel? I want to tell you about a man I mentored named Samuel. Samuel sat in my study years ago, his head in his hands. He had a brilliant heart for the essential stewardship model. He wanted to provide healthy, affordable meals for the elderly in his neighborhood. But he was broke. He told me, "Rabbi, I have no capital. The bank won't even look at me. I am starting from zero." I looked at him and asked, "Samuel, who knows your character?" He looked confused. I explained to him that in our tradition, the highest form of currency isn't the paper in your wallet. It is Shem Tov, a good name. In the ancient marketplaces of Jerusalem, a man's word was his bond. If people knew you were a person of emunah, of faithfulness and integrity, they would provide the wood, the grain, or the tools you needed because they were investing in you, not just a business plan. Samuel realized he had spiritual capital. He started small, serving just 3 neighbors with such incredible integrity and love that they began to tell their friends. Soon, a local grocery store owner offered to let him use their kitchen after hours for free because he trusted Samuel's vision. You see, money is often just the physical manifestation of trust. If you feel you have no money today, stop looking at the bank and start looking at your character. Trust is a shovel that never breaks, and in the kingdom of God, it is the most valuable asset you own. I want to ask you, looking at your own life right now, what is one non-financial asset you possess? Is it a specific skill, a reputation for honesty, or a deep connection with your community? Let me know in the comments. Sometimes we forget how rich we actually are in the eyes of the Creator. But then, there is that second wall, that second lie that whispers, even if you have a good name, the world is already full of people doing what you want to do. The market is saturated. There's no room for you. To this, I want you to imagine a room draped in total, heavy darkness. If I light one small candle, does the darkness say, "I'm sorry, there are already too many candles here"? No. The darkness simply retreats. The truth is, there is a saturation of noise in our world, but there is a desperate, starving famine for heart. Most businesses today are cold, nameless transactions. If you enter the market with the intention of tikkun olam, of truly repairing a small corner of someone's life, you are not just another business. You are a unique light. No one can serve exactly like you, because no one has your specific combination of struggle, your specific walk with God, and your specific soul. In the eyes of heaven, there is no such thing as too many people doing good. You aren't competing for a slice of a small pie. You are working for the one who owns the whole bakery. Once you realize that the capital is within you and the space is waiting for you, the only thing left is to take that first faithful step into the light. The realization that you already possess the capital of character and that the world has a specific void only you can fill is a powerful moment. It's the moment the soul stands up and prepares to walk. But even a soul that is ready needs a map for its feet. In our tradition, wisdom is never meant to stay in the clouds of theory. It is meant to come down to earth, into the very dirt where we plant our crops and build our homes. To move from inspiration to reality, we must follow a path of disciplined, faithful action. The first step in this sacred journey is to identify your vessel. I want you to look back at the 4 models we discussed: essentials, knowledge, connection, and healing. You cannot build all 4 at once. To try to catch water in 4 different places is to ensure you catch very little. I think of a young man named Jacob who came to me last year. He was talented in many things, but he was scattered. He tried to start a delivery service, Essentials, while also trying to write a book, Knowledge. He was exhausted and failing at both. We sat down and looked at his vessel. We realized his true gift was in teaching, in explaining complex things simply. He chose the knowledge transfer model, focusing entirely on a coaching business for young tradespeople. By choosing one vessel and carving it with excellence, he finally had something sturdy enough to hold the blessing. Which of those 4 models makes your heart beat a little faster? That is your starting point. Once you have chosen your vessel, you must apply the principle of the 10th, or Mahasar. This is perhaps the most misunderstood principle in finance. Many see it as a tax or a loss, but in the Torah, it is the key that unlocks the storehouses of heaven. The word Ma'aser comes from a root that means to become rich. When you commit to setting aside 10% of your revenue, not just your profit, but your very first fruits, for the sake of others, you are making a bold statement to the universe. You are saying, I am not the ultimate source of this wealth. I am a conduit. By giving, you create a vacuum that the Creator is eager to fill. I have seen businesses on the brink of collapse turn around the moment the owner stopped gripping their last dollar and started opening their hand to help the widow, the orphan, or the poor. This isn't a magic trick. It is a spiritual alignment. It ensures that your business stays rooted in the purpose of tikkun, olam, repairing the world, from the very first day. Finally, you must find your Moses. Even Joshua, the great leader who led our people into the promised land, spent years at the feet of Moses. He watched how Moses prayed, how he judged, and how he handled the pressures of leadership. In the modern world, we call this mentorship, but in the Torah, it is something deeper. It is serving the wise. You need someone who has already dug the wells you are trying to dig. You need someone who can see the dirt in your eyes before you even feel it. Don't just look for a coach who will tell you how to make money. Look for a mentor who embodies the character and the peace you desire. A true mentor doesn't just give you a map, they give you their perspective. They help you stay steady when the famine comes, reminding you that the water is still there, just beneath the surface. With your vessel chosen, your tithe committed, and your mentor by your side, you are no longer just a person with a dream, you are a partner in a divine enterprise. We have walked a long path together today, from the shadows of chasing wealth to the solid ground of the 4 invincible business models. We have learned that prosperity is not a trophy to be won, but a harvest to be gathered by those who have the courage to plant the right seeds and dig the old, faithful wells of service. As we close our time together, I want you to take a moment of stillness. Close your eyes if you can. Realize that the Creator did not put you here to struggle in the dark or to fight for crumbs. You were created to be a conduit of barakah, a channel of blessing. Whether you choose to steward the essentials of life, share your hard-earned wisdom, connect souls for peace, or bring healing to the broken, know that your work is sacred. Your business is your prayer in action. May the Lord bless the work of your hands. May He give you the clarity of Isaac to see the hidden water where others see only dry land. May your vessel be strong, your heart be open, and your integrity be as unshakable as the mountains of Jerusalem. And as you prosper, may you always remember the source of your strength, and may you be a light to everyone who crosses your path. If this message touched your soul today, I invite you to join our community. Every week, we gather here to peel back the layers of ancient Torah wisdom and apply it to our modern financial lives. Click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a step on this journey toward true spiritual wealth. Go forth in peace, go forth in faith, and remember, You don't have to chase the shadow. Just walk toward the light. Shalom, and I will see you in the next video.